I'm Sam Smith.
I'm Travis Okulski, and this is the 755 horsepower Corvette ZR1.
And I'm going to stand on the wing.
No, you're not. Corvette ZR1 has 755 horsepower. Now, to put that in perspective, the Z06, one below the ZR1, which is still preposterously fast and kind of at the limits of the grip of the tires, has 650 horsepower. That's almost double the power of the original ZR1, which was one of the fastest cars that had ever existed at the time when it came out.
So until this thing launched, the Z06 was the fastest Corvette you could buy. And it has, at more than 100 horsepower less, it has problems putting its power to the ground. GM engineers have famously said that they're pretty much at the point where they can't put any more power into this thing. It's at the limit of what chassis can take, it's at the limit of what modern tire technology can take. And that's partly why they're developing a mid-engine Corvette to follow up this. Part of what's great about this is just how approachable it is. This is really a pretty special package. 750 horsepower in a Corvette. 10, 20 years ago would have meant that 9 out of 10 people got into it, didn't get down the street before putting the car into a ditch.
Right.
They've managed to tune the chassis in such a way that it feels forgiving, that it encourages you to work with what's here, whatever feeling rough and crazy and just mad.
But that's what's so brilliant about the Corvette in the first place. The base Stingray is a brilliant car that is fun no matter how fast you're going. It doesn't feel like it's out of control. It doesn't feel like there's going to be an issue if you try to push it. And it's kind of the same way here. Even if you feel like the tires are going to break away at any speed in any gear, it's progressive, it's gentle, it's not scary, which is a weird thing to say about a car that has, you know, nearly double the horsepower of the base Corvette.
Like every other 7th generation Corvette, the interior is built pretty well. You can see out of it, gets decent fuel mileage, and this is pretty much the peak expression of what these cars are capable of. It just happens to have a lot of carbon fiber and a giant wing on top.
And it's nuttily fast. And it maintains all the stuff that's so great about the Z06, about the Grand Sport, about the Stingray. You know, it's got a compliant chassis. Even though it's got electric steering, it's still got some of the best electric steering that's on the market today. And that's what's so interesting about this car, is that it's accessible speed and it's not terrifying.
Now, there are a couple of caveats that go along with this. You don't buy one of these things if you're a shrinking violet, right? You have to know what you want when you buy one of these. And you have to know that you want a loud, obnoxious Corvette. That's what what are you doing? Why do you keep pushing buttons?
I just want to tell you, I have the car in the quietest mode. There's adjustable sound management from the engine, and this is what it sounds like in the quietest mode. It sounds weird to say about a car that starts around $143,000, but this is a screaming deal. I mean, look at cars that have more than 700 horsepower, your 720S, the 911 GT2 RS. These are cars that are more than $250,000. They're touching $300,000. And they all have less power than a Corvette has. Corvettes have always been about value for speed. You can't buy a faster car than this Corvette, I don't think, for the same price.
That's the great thing about the car. You don't get the build quality of a German car. You don't get the disconnected clinical precision of a lot of Japanese supercars. What you do get is this American icon built in this country with a giant honking V8 up front, and it feels exactly like what it is. That's actually a pretty rare thing as the car industry gets more and more homogenized and cars start to feel more and more the same.
If you're a smart shopper and you want a car that's 700 horsepower plus, but you don't want to break the bank, you go buy this Corvette. It can do everything that cars that cost twice as much can do without compromise. Sure, it looks a little outlandish and out there, but that's what a Corvette is. It's America the car. That's what this is about.
The stereotype is that the guys who buy these things have chest hair and gold chains and are in the middle of a midlife crisis that lasts for 10 years. But the other side of the coin is that it's a genuine, high-performance, well-rounded car that in the past 10 or 15 years, they've managed to make stop and turn and feel and be built as well as just about anything else in the market. They've really dragged it into the modern era, right?
It's a brilliant car.